Paige, have you ever noticed how sometimes your actions leave you feeling lighter and other times they leave you feeling heavier, even when they're the same action?
Yes, same task, but completely different experience.
And we usually blame effort as if we just didn't try hard enough.
But the tradition says it's internal. It's not the action that binds us, but it's our attachment to it.
And the Bhagavad Gītā has a single word for this distinction.
Karma means action. Karma yoga is action without grasping for the fruit.
This is karma, and the body is where the practice begins. I've practiced yoga consistently for over 10 years now, and I know that the most important part of building consistency is community. Other people to hold you accountable. And second to that is a solid practice plan to help you experience the true benefits of the practice. And this is exactly why I created the OmSom App. It's a free study tool to help you learn the Sanskrit and the philosophy of yoga. Plus, it's the home to our online community, which we call Sadhana Sangha. Every single month, the team and I offer 5 practices, and I guide you through an Asana workshop as well as a subtle technique, and we translate a few lines of the Yoga Sūtra together. It's honestly been my dream to create this app since I started teaching, because this is what I truly needed when I started practicing. So check it out in the show notes or just search OmSom in the App Store. That's OmSom. Now, back to the episode. Namaste. Welcome to the OmSom Yoga and Ayurveda podcast. My name is Aaron Petty. I'm a yoga teacher, yoga therapist, teacher trainer. I do all things in the yoga field, and this is
Paige. My name is Paige Taylor. I am a yoga teacher, co-founder of OmSom, yoga teacher trainer, and an Ayurvedic practitioner, and I love all things yoga and Ayurveda too.
We love yoga. And I want to tell you something. Mantra June is over.
Mantra June is over.
We've just done 7 episodes in a row about mantras.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of talk about mantras. And so we're going to put the mantras to the side for a little bit.
And if you don't like mantras, you're probably thinking, thank God.
Yeah.
And if you don't,
if you
do
don't
like
believe in
mantras,
God, you'd be saying, thanks, nature.
Anyway, we're talking about something else now, which is exciting.
I know. And at the end of the last episode, when I went to start to talk about what was coming this month, you said, no.
It's a surprise.
Wait, it's a surprise.
Wow.
So finally, it's the big reveal.
It's the big reveal.
This month, our theme is, do you know what the theme for the month is?
I just had a look, yes.
In Sadhana Sangha?
Yeah.
Oh, do you want to reveal it?
Mokṣa.
Mokṣa, not mocha, Mokṣa.
Mokṣa.
Mocha is a coffee with chocolate in it. Moksha is to be liberated from the cycle of birth and rebirth.
Very different things.
Very different
Or
things.
maybe not. Maybe mochas do liberate us.
I mean, they definitely liberate our taste buds temporarily.
But yes, if you didn't already know, we plan our podcast around our online platform, Sadhana Sangha, which is an app, OmSom app you can download and practice with us for $22 a month. We have various different classes in there every single month, as well as some technique breakdowns, some subtle workshops, and a little bit of a bhavana talk and an introduction, as well as Yoga Sutra study, literally so much more, and a community and live Q&A calls. But if you are interested in diving deeper to these concepts that we explore in the podcast, but more so on your mat, then come and join us.
The podcast is just a very surface level extension of what we explore in Sadhana Sangha. We use these themes in Sadhana Sangha for practices.
Yeah.
On the podcast, we just have it.
Have a yap.
It's good fun. Anyway,
let's get into it.
Today, we're going to be talking about karma.
Karma.
And the classic story around karma and karma yoga is the Bhagavad Gītā.
Okay, yeah.
So it would be rude of me to talk about anything else.
Okay.
So in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gītā, where Arjuna is on the battlefield and he has a little bit of a meltdown.
Yeah.
And he asks Kṛṣṇa this question. He says, if you say that wisdom is greater than action, then why do you tell me to act? Why must I act? Wouldn't it be easier for me to just renounce everything and walk away? And Kṛṣṇa then replies with one of the most important sentences, one of the most quoted sentences in the Bhagavad Gītā. He says, no one can remain even for a moment without performing actions. Everyone is helplessly driven to act by the forces of nature.
It's true.
And he gives this teaching that freedom is not the absence of action.
True.
right? You still have to act because that is what nature is asking of you. That's why you have a body, right? Every breath is an action. But freedom is found through acting without holding on to the fruit of your actions.
Yes, agreed.
And that's to say that this suffering that we experience, it exists in our mind.
For sure.
Right? And we're going to talk about that a little bit, but we can talk about the cliches a little bit today.
Okay, that sounds fun. I think as well, and perhaps we'll explore that. But I love this idea of freedom is action without grasping for the result. And I think as well, freedom comes from acceptance of actions. Yeah. And it's the same thing, but I think, almost like this idea of without grasping for the results is something that you can do before the result, if that makes sense. It's like, I'm clinging on to something happening. And so it's like kind of like, how do I not do that after the action, after the result? And it's like our capacity to accept and just be present and content with our hand that's been dealt by nature and, taking our own responsibility and accountability for that. But yeah, our capacity to just dance with nature and have trust and faith and accept what's in front of us.
Yeah.
And if we don't like it, we change it. And I think this is what we'll talk about
Do
with
what we can.
the cliches. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so karma comes from the root, which is kṛ. We're going to talk about kṛ in the next episode as well. But today we're going to say kṛ is karma. Karma means an action.
Yeah.
It means to do, right? Or to make. So the actions that you take every day are your karma, right? Your breath is karma, if you're not aware of it. When you cook your food, it is a type of karma. When you drive your car, it is karma, right? When we sit down and have a conversation with someone, it's karma.
Okay, so karma isn't just what goes around comes around. If you do something bad, it's coming to get you.
No, it's that everything that you do is a learned behavior. That everything that you do as an action throughout your day has been learned by repetition. And it's that repetition in action that ingrains those actions to be done in a certain way repetitively. Yeah? From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, you are doing things. Even if you're not doing anything, most of the time there's something that you're doing. It might be thinking, it might be scrolling, it might be avoiding.
That's an interesting thing. Like even when you're not doing, you could be acting through your thoughts, through avoiding, through attaching yourself onto something.
Exactly.
Interesting.
And your thoughts are karmas.
Yeah.
Right? The thoughts that you have on a day-to-day basis are the same thoughts. We've talked about this before. But what's a new thought called? It's called an idea.
Yeah.
Which means that all of your thoughts are karmas.
Yeah.
They're thoughts that you've had before.
And really, we think about just like the modern day, I don't know what the word I'm thinking of is, but this modern day like concept of manifestation. And it's just like law of attraction almost. Like you think about what you want and you'll get it. And like the yoga tradition believes something slightly different, but it's true that like the thoughts are the seeds that plant your karma, like that fruitify into what you create in life.
Into actions.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Intention, thought, word, actions. So that's karma.
Yeah.
It's one of these things that gets very heavily misunderstood because a lot of people just think about it as good and bad karma.
Yeah,
I've got
true.
good karma, I've got bad karma. My bad karma is because of I've done something bad in the past, and my good karma is because I've done something good in the past. And there are some beliefs around that.
It's true.
In the tradition, reincarnation and those kinds of things, which we'll get into.
Yeah, for sure.
But this idea that your actions in past lives will affect you in the current world. But also that your actions, if they are not conscious, will determine your outcome.
Yeah. And this is such a big thing, right? Like I think so many people get trapped in that idea of I've got bad karma, of like I must have done something really horrible in my last life. Like, and this thought of like I cannot break free of that. Like I don't have control. over that. But it's like every action that you take, you can control that.
Well, this is the problem with manifestation. It's like you can think about what you want, but if you keep acting the same way that you always have, you're going to keep getting the same result.
Exactly.
And it's only when you choose to be conscious of what you're doing, why you're doing it, and where it's leading you, that karma becomes karma yoga or kriya.
Yeah. This analogy that was given to me when I was doing a training recently was this idea of like a karma shaya. And I remember saying to you about that word, and I was like thinking it was sack, but I don't know if
it's like the storehouse.
Storehouse of the karma. But I like the idea of like a little, I think Aaron's got this cute little pouch that's like a magician's pouch kind of, and I think of that as my karma sack. And it's just like this idea that every action that you take, you like put seeds into that karma sack, magician's pouch. And then when the time is right, that sack becomes full of karma. And then you're greeted with a big experience, that you have an opportunity to play out the karmas again or to choose again. And so it's kind of this perspective that when something big happens in your life that maybe feels a little bit overwhelming, and maybe it's, not negative, positive or neutral, like it's just a big experience, you have the opportunity to choose again. Like you always have the opportunity to, whether that's react differently, to step on a different path, to set your boundaries, whatever that kind of karma is for you. But it's like at that specific moment, it's not that something bad is happening to you and like poor you. It's actually like an opportunity for you that the universe is giving you to choose again and to learn whatever lessons that you need to learn and to move through that and allow then that karma to be rooted from the earth, from the roots. Uprooted so that you don't have to play it out again.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so this path is a legitimate path of yoga.
True.
From the 4 paths that we often come back to, the Jnana yoga, which is to study and to learn. Bhakti, to be in devotion. Raja yoga, to sit in meditation. And karma yoga, which is to be intentional about your actions and where they're leading you. That in that way, you can bring yoga into every single day, every single moment. You can bring that awareness, which is yoga, into the things that you are doing in your day-to-day life.
It's true.
There can be yoga in brushing your teeth if you intend it. Okay, so I want to break down what we call the 3 types of karma.
Sure,
now.
Sounds good.
The 3 types of karma are called sanchita karma, kriyamana karma, and prarabdha karma. So the first of these 3 is sanchita karma. The analogy that we use is a bow and arrow for this, like we did with Om, but slightly differently. So this sanchita karma is all of the arrows that you have in your quiver. You're holding them on your back. And that's to say that the sanchita karma is the potential actions that you could take.
Yeah, the potential arrows that you could string in your bow.
Exactly. All of the potentials that lay ahead of you, and they're infinite, endless. Second is called kriyamana karma. Kriyamana karma is the arrow that you have nocked that you're currently shooting. So it's the action that you are currently taking in the present moment. And then the third one is called prarabdha karma. And prarabdha karma is the arrows that you've already shot. The actions that you've taken in the past that are now affecting your experience real time, right? Maybe in the past you were looking on your phone while you're walking down the street and then you slipped on the gutter and rolled and broke your ankle. And now 5 years later, your ankle is aching because it's cold. That's the prarabdha karma showing up. It's a past action showing up in the present.
And like perhaps is this the same thing? Tell me. Because of that karma that played out, now you don't walk whilst looking at your phone?
Maybe. Maybe you learned a lesson or maybe you didn't.
Or maybe you didn't. Yeah, true.
That's up to you.
True.
That's the yoga in it, right? If we can learn from those actions that we've taken in the past, then it becomes yoga. But if we just keep doing the thing and keep getting the same result, then it's karma. Yeah. So these 3 types of karmas just help us to understand the passage of time in yoga, right? That actually we can't change the prarabdha karma.
Yeah.
It's not something that we can change. We can't go back and not slip on the gutter.
Yeah.
We can't go back and have a different childhood.
Yeah.
We can't go back and not enter into that relationship.
True.
And so those things are always going to be present in our experience until we choose to, in some way, bring awareness to them and liberate ourselves from them.
Yeah.
Right? If it's possible.
Yeah.
Because some of them sit really deep.
Some of them do sit really deep.
The sanchita karma is all of the possibilities that you could make, right? So that it's a potential karma, right? That you could choose any action. Like you have free will in the universe.
Of course.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You can walk around. You can go to another country. You can pack up all your possessions and leave. Or you could commit yourself to doing the same thing that will lead you in a direction that you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have this kriyamana karma, which is the most important in relation to like asana practice, yoga practice, which is that you are doing something in the present moment.
Yeah.
Right? That you can bring presence into that. And either that doing in the present moment is done unconsciously when you're just going through the motions, or it's done consciously.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So, karma is a law of Dharma.
Yeah.
Right? It's a law of the universe.
Yeah.
And this law says that for every action, for every cause, there is an effect.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
My favorite.
And the effect is hidden in the cause.
Mm-hmm. The effect is hidden in the cause. What do you mean by that? I feel like I've heard you say that quite a lot, but tell me more.
You want to unpack it?
Yeah, just a little.
You do an action.
Yeah.
Right? You drink a half a liter of Coke.
Okay.
And then you have a bellyache.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? You have chosen that action.
Yes.
Drink the Coke. You have then the effect of
Bellyache.
I have a sore belly,
Mm-hmm.
right? The cause is not necessarily the drinking of the substance, but the drinking of the substance combined with the knowledge of what that substance is, right? And that substance then is created. It's part of Prakriti, therefore it's bound by the gunas. And so you kind of can see then what the quality of that object is. Coca-Cola, it's fizzy bubbly. And then you drink it, you got a sore belly, you've got gas in your belly, right? The cause is hidden in the effect, or the effect is hidden in the cause.
Right. So it's like this idea that like because I mean, I love the teaching on cause and effect. It's one of my favorite teachings, but just this sentence is interesting. So it's just the fact that you are aware of how it's going to make you feel to some extent.
Once you gain the
when it's
knowledge,
hidden.
once you gain the jnana, the wisdom of samkhya, once you understand the qualities of nature, then you can understand,
I mean, of course,
where the action's going to take you.
Yes, for
what
sure.
the result of the action
But
will
perhaps,
be.
do you mean the effect is hidden in the cause by saying that like when you are unconscious to it, it's there, but you just don't see it
Yeah.
because you don't know.
Yeah. And then with
then you
time
know.
and with practice and with awareness, you learn the effect of any cause.
And then perhaps you stop choosing the things that cause you harm
well, hopefully,
for the most part.
that's what the Yoga Sutra says. That's what a yogi should do.
That's what Mokṣa is, liberation.
Right? It's to be intentional with our actions is the karma yoga. And to be intentional with our actions is to have knowledge of the result of those actions.
Yes, that's true.
Only then can we make the choices.
Yes, and take radical responsibility for our own fate.
Yeah, and our choosing. Okay, so that's the law of cause and effect.
All right.
That every action has a reaction. Every action will impel a reaction, right? If you drink the half liter of Coke and then you have a sore belly, what are you going to do? Something to relieve your belly.
Hopefully.
Maybe, right? You might, what is it called? Gaviscon?
Yeah, I guess. Acid reflux.
Acid reflux kind of medication.
Yeah.
And then that's also going to have effect.
Yeah,
Maybe
true.
it's a drying effect.
Yeah.
And so it's like then we're just kind of stuck in this constant cause and effect, this constant reactivity to like, I've taken this action, I've had this result has left me feeling this certain way.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take this next action to give me this new result,
Yeah.
which is then going to leave me, and then it continues in a cycle.
Yeah. And potentially, let me just slide in here. I know this is not the right place for it, but the Ayurvedic perspective here is, like I was saying and alluding to just then, like I love this teaching on cause and effect. It's so beautiful. One of my favorite things in Ayurveda. And it's just, like you are kind of speaking on, our capacity to start to learn and take radical responsibility for our own actions and accountability, that we start to learn the actions that we take and what the effect is. And the more we start to learn through that, whether that's through journaling, and if we're talking specifically about food, which is a lot of the time what I work with, but also different lifestyle practices, journaling on how you feel after doing certain things, you start to like pick up, oh, there's a connection here.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think about it like that before. I didn't see this connection. And then the more you do that, the easier it becomes, hopefully, to choose the things that you know and the actions that you know bring you towards that state of health, and a little bit harder to keep choosing the things that you know move you away from that state of health.
And with this knowledge of all humans being in constant action, we can use that cause and effect as a liberatory practice.
Absolutely.
Right? It becomes the yoga in the fact that it liberates us from the suffering caused by our actions.
And the suffering actions are not inherently bad, because they have to be there to teach. We have to get so sick of our own shit to change something. Like, therefore, those actions and those causes and these things that we keep playing out are helpful, because we have to get so sick of our shit to want to change.
Yeah. Maybe.
I think for a lot of people.
Yeah. You have to become aware of the result of your actions.
Yeah. It's like a hand in hand. You have to be so sick of it that you're willing to take responsibility and accountability for it. Yeah, and to acknowledge it, for sure.
Okay. And so then where is the binding then in these actions? What Kṛṣṇa is talking about in the Bhagavad Gītā is this idea that you act for the result. With an attachment to the result.
Right. Most people.
Yeah. That then you act with the hope of receiving something from your action. And if the result is different to what you hope for,
then you have suffering.
Then you're going to suffer. Then you're going to be upset because I put all of these ingredients and then I put the batter in the oven and then my cake came out flat and it was meant to be big and fluffy and beautiful.
And so it's our capacity to be unattached from the fruits of our actions.
Yeah.
It's not about, like what we were saying in the intro, it's not about no action, but it's just about not attaching to the results of our actions.
Yeah.
It's like the ultimate sever, I think, like acting from a selfless place where you are just offering your actions up into the world, up into the universe, and just whatever happens will happen.
And I think it's really important for us not to become kind of complacent in that.
Yeah.
It's not really helpful for us to be like, well, if nothing is permanent in the world and it's all just going to dissolve and my body's just going to rot in the ground, then it doesn't matter what I do.
What's the point? Yeah.
I'm just going to do whatever I
want. It's
want.
the Eeyore vibes again.
That's hedonistic. That's chaos. We're not looking for chaos because in yoga we follow the path of Dharma.
Yeah.
The path of Dharma is follow the natural flow of the universe.
Gosh, there's so much nuance.
Follow the path of the universe. Follow the tendencies that you've been gifted, right? And act with those natural tendencies, not against them, but with them, without attachment to the result.
Yeah.
Right? Let that be the liberation. Just doing your work in the world because you live in the world. The classic one is before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water.
Yeah.
Right? You are the same person. And if there is enlightened beings out there in the universe, you're not going to know. It's going to be Jeff in accounting, sitting on his laptop with a little smile on his face.
Yeah.
It's going to be grandma in a village who weaves blankets.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the sage in the mountains who's levitating in Padmasana.
Why do you not think that?
Because the enlightened mind, in this context, is...
A householder?
anyone who acts in the world without result, without attachment to the result.
Okay, gotcha.
Right? That actually it's the mind which is liberated. It's the mind which is enlightened. And if you're looking at someone with this lens of enlightenment that we always get, which is like the Buddha or Shiva or these kind of divine natured beings, it's actually the fault of your perception to think that that person should be that certain way.
Yeah.
Right? What this is saying, that any person at any time could be enlightened and continue to do everything that they've always done.
It's true.
Right? But there's liberation on the inside. Okay. Kṛṣṇa says that you have the right to your actions, but never to the fruits. And then he gives this line, which is an absolute classic. It says, Yogaha karmasu kashulam. Yoga is skill in action. I'll let that sink in again. Skill in action is yoga.
Intentional action.
Skill. The skill of being intentional. The skill of being aware. Right? Because yoga is, and we could talk, we're not going to debate because we were on a time crunch. But we could talk about yoga as the state of awareness, but then we could talk about yoga as the practice, the liberatory practice. And that yoga is the skill of acting in a way that brings positive change, moving us in the direction of positive change.
And I like this idea that skill is a learnable thing. You know, you can learn this. You can improve this.
You just need to be aware.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever you're doing, be aware.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Because if you're on autopilot, that's when you make mistakes. Everyone knows this.
Yeah, it's true.
You weren't thinking. But not in a good way. Anyway, then he says, no one can remain even for a moment without performing an action. Okay, next. Patanjali, in the second chapter, he says, the karmashaya, the reservoir of karma, is rooted in the kleshas and is experienced in seen or unseen births. Right? And so Patanjali makes this link between karma and the kleshas.
Yes.
Which are, do you remember what they are? You want to list them off quickly?
Yeah, the kleshas, but what are they? Afflictions. That's the translation, isn't it?
Yeah.
The afflictions that cause suffering.
Of the mind.
Yeah. So we've got avidya, which is just ignorance. We have asmita, which is our identification, our ego, our attachment as this is who I am. The story. We've got raga, which is our attachment to certain things. Dvesha, which is aversion, so the opposite of attachment. And then abhinivesha is the fear of death.
Yes.
Which is the root of all of these afflictions, the root of all fears.
Yeah. And so Patanjali says in this second chapter that the cause of your karma is the kleshas. Yeah? That the cause of your actions unconsciously are these afflictions of the mind, right? You're doing this thing because you're ignorant. You don't know any better. You're doing this thing because you're telling yourself a story about what you're meant to be and how you're meant to act. You're doing this thing because you're attached to some kind of feeling or some kind of result. You're doing this because you don't want to experience something else, right? Maybe you're drinking a beer because you don't want to feel the sadness. Or abhinivesha, you're doing this thing to try and preserve your very fleeting life. Okay, then he says,
interesting.
This is Patanjali then talks about the karma of a yogi. He says the yogi's karma is neither black or white. For others, it is of three kinds.
Okay.
And those three kinds are, you want to have a guess?
The three karmas? Oh, sattva, rajas, and tamas.
Yes, the three gunas. Right? That our actions then are bound by the gunas.
It makes sense.
They're rajasic actions, they're tamasic actions, they're sattvic actions, but they're still bound by those gunas. And so then he says that the yogi's karma is not bound by those things.
Oh.
Right? It's not black or white. The yogi's karma is action for action's sake. Because that's what nature is asking of the yogi.
Yeah.
Okay, then this final one I want to give comes from we tried to pronounce it the other week. Do you want to give it another try?
No. Bradaranyaka. Bradaranyaka.
Upanishad.
Yeah. I think we're getting better at it.
We're getting better. Okay, this is what it says. As is your desire, so is your resolve. As is your resolve, so is your action. As is the action, so is your destiny. Right? As is your desire, so is your intention.
Yeah.
Your intention will then lead to your action, right? And then your action compiled over a long period of time, then it produces your destiny, right? If you are sitting with that desire, it will take over your entire life.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
You could continue to act in that way until that desire has been resolved.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about this in the later episodes about vikalpa and sankalpa and those kind of like desire-based experiences and how we can actually use desire instead of just trying to rid ourselves of desires, which so many people will try to do. Instead of trying to rid ourselves of desires, becoming aware of our desires so that we can use our desires for good.
100%. Sankalpa.
Sankalpa. All right, that's my textual references.
Love it.
What do you want to share?
I think I already shared the Ayurvedic perspective, so I don't think we really need to go too much into that. But yeah, it's just this idea of cause and effect and learning to become aware of the actions that you take, whether consciously or subconsciously, and how they are affecting your current state of health.
Yeah. And affecting your doshas.
Yeah.
Right? That it's like the actions that you take will affect the doshas.
Always.
If you're constantly getting on planes, it's going to throw vata out of balance. If you're constantly eating chippies and laying around in bed, it's going to throw kapha out of balance.
Yeah, for sure.
And like this karma yoga, maybe we could call it karma yoga, but it's also karma ayurveda.
Yeah, it's karma everything.
Karma is the foundation for everything that we teach.
Yeah.
This is why we learn about the Samkhya philosophy and we learn about the qualities of things so that we can be more intentional with our actions and we can use our actions to liberate us. That's both in yoga and in Ayurveda.
And so then just to wrap it up and conclude, I think this idea of like, how do we take this into our yoga mat? And the idea is that our yoga practice is where we learn cause and effect. We learn so deeply how the actions that we take on our mat make us feel at the end of the practice. What is the residue of this practice? And that, you know, we choose to show up and we choose to do the practice of yoga and we choose to do these specific techniques and it leads us to an effect. And starting to learn that on our mat makes it easier to learn that and apply that to our life.
Yeah, exactly. And the process of learning yoga asana is learning new things.
Yeah.
Right? And I think something that a lot of people tend to fall into is like you finish high school, you do your degree, and then you just stop learning.
Yeah.
And if you stop learning, then you're just on autopilot for the
Just
rest
repeating
of
the
your life.
old actions your whole life.
Yeah. And so when we come to yoga and we come to our mat, we learn these new things and it might feel clunky in the beginning. It might feel like a baby giraffe falling over everywhere. But over time, with repetition, with intention, you gain this capacity to continue learning through your adulthood.
Absolutely.
And I think if we can continue learning, to learn is to refine our karma. Right? And so then the process of learning is the karma yoga, right? It's learning to take the actions that move us towards positive change on a day-to-day basis.
Love it.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hope you have a wonderful day. Please, if there's one thing I can ask of you, go and send this to someone. That is our conversation about karma. If you think it's going to be helpful to someone whose shit you're sick of, send them this episode. No, I want send them this episode because you love them so much and you want them to learn about yoga with you.
Yeah.
All right.
See you in the next one. Hari Om.